July 10th, 2019. 11 years of a normal life. 1 finger prick, 3 clicks. 1 drop of blood, and my normal life was down the drain. I didn't know what was going to happen after I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, but I did quickly learn the numbers that constructed my new life. The number of insulin units it took to dose properly for my almond flour cookies, 3.2. The 7 clicks it took for the needle to insert into my body. The 3 days in between a pump change and the 10 days for a sensor change. Yet there were no numbers that told me what was going to happen to me, to my life. A month after my diagnosis, I was unwillingly enrolled in a drug trial by my parents. The trial was meant to stop my pancreas from attacking beta cells and hopefully delay the onset of type 1 diabetes for several years. This was all explained to me and meant to give me hope, but it didn't matter. I heard doctors in planes, missing school, dance, camp, my whole 6th grade summer being thrown away, and worst of all, needles and infusions. At some level, I felt an obligation to do this, but I didn't want to. 2 months, 4 states, 7 cities, and 20 different nurses attempting to take my blood. My veins were small. It was like drawing blood from a stone, but my blood carried the necessary information and numbers to be accepted into the trial. I ended up in Idaho Falls. This is somewhere you have probably never been because there's absolutely no reason to go, unless, like me, you were a human guinea pig. 4-lane roads and strip malls. The town was lonely, almost metaphorically, and devoid of any color or fun. For 5 weeks, I sat in a chair in a small room with a PICC line snaked through my body. I got infusions and blood draws daily. All that mattered to anyone were my numbers. In the months following, it was more labs, more doctors, and then radio silence. I had no idea whether the time spent in that little room had produced anything more than needle marks on my body. It was years before I heard anything. In November 2022, teplizumab was approved by the FDA. Since that time, more and more countries have adopted it as a treatment for type 1 diabetes, the first in over 100 years, since insulin. The unrest, sadness, and confusion I had felt turned into something that felt like pride. This drug would actually save tens of thousands of kids from feeling how I felt. Those 5 weeks in that single, lonely chair was a contribution to a much greater good than I had understood. I felt empowered, after years of feeling powerless. I felt pride when once I had felt self-pity. All of my numbers were not just labs. They added up to something much bigger than me. The doctors, the researchers, the 20 nurses who had held my hand and trusted in me, all of the people who had put in years of effort to create change had given 11-year-old me a gift. The knowledge that each one of us has the power to do something profound for others, to take a risk, however negligible or unsure the outcome might be. Would this still have been a story to tell if the drug hadn't worked? Would it have been a moment, lost in time, thrown away? I believe the value of my story is not really the lasting effect of a drug on type 1 diabetes. Instead, it is the power of trusting and trying, of finding hope in adversity and taking action to make things better, even when you're not sure of the outcome. Sometimes, I still don't know what is going to happen. I am still learning what to do when the needle doesn't insert after those 7 clicks, when I miscalculate the insulin I need for my cookies, or I miss a sensor change. No one knows what is going to happen. So, I remember, like the 11-year-old me did, that there is power in showing up, even when you feel small and sad, even when the end goal seems far away or uncertain. Every time I hear the click of my pump now, I think about myself, that girl in the infusion chair, wishing she could be anywhere else. I wish I could tell her that one day she would understand, that one day those long weeks would mean something bigger than fear. I can't go back and tell her, but I can stand here and tell you. So this I believe. We each have a role, even if we don't know what it is yet. Invariably, we all, at some point, will be presented with a situation where we are uniquely positioned to try to help someone else. I believe that each individual action pays forward for the collective good. I believe in the power of one person to make a difference. Thank you.